I've just come out of the cinema from seeing Overlord. Oh my god, what a film. If you've seen the trailer, you'll know whether or not it's likely to be your cup of tea. And Jesus Christ, it delivered. It's so delivered. Like, oh man, I enjoyed that so much. I mean, that is a 9 out of 10 film, easy. I'm thinking it's top 10, like, as in that could potentially be in the top 10 of my all-time favourite films. I think it could be in there. It was that good. I mean, I love war movies. When I was a bit younger, when like We Were Soldiers were out, you had like We Were Soldiers, you know, Platoon and Saving Private Ryan, you know. Around about that time, I was like, yeah, I think my favourite genre of film is war movies. So that's, you know, that gives you an idea of how much I like that genre. But then throw in there like zombie horror, sick gore, like Saw movies, and if you've seen the movies Hostel, you know, where it's like, oh man, the Hostel movies, you know, where they're like, they pay to chop each other, to get to kill each other in gruesome ways. Oh, it was just so awesome. I mean, I'm sat there for most of the film, just especially once it started getting gory, just with this massive smile on my face, just like, yes, this is awesome. This is what I wanted. You know, sometimes when you watch a film and you'll think to yourself, that's annoying, that, you know, you disagree with, why did the director have to do that, or damn, why couldn't they have done this, you know, why couldn't it have been a little bit more gory, or why couldn't this guy have learned his lesson and got his comeuppance, and you sometimes come away feeling a little bit disappointed even when you've really enjoyed a film. Well, for me, there wasn't a single moment of damn, I'm disappointed. The whole film was just like, anything that you would have wanted to happen happened, or at least that's how I felt. I mean, I love gore and gruesome horror, you know. I love the Saw movies, you know, the more shocking the better, and this was just brilliant. It wasn't the full out zombie kind of mega movie that I thought it was going to be. It actually had a lot more storyline to it. What I mean by that is, I didn't know whether it was going to go from war movie, break you in gently, whoa, all of a sudden we're a horror zombie type movie, and you know, there's 100 zombies all fighting 100 humans, guns, madness, carnage. It wasn't like that. The storyline was built a lot more intricately, where it was kind of like much more of your one-on-one type scenarios, but it worked. It was brilliant, and the zombiness wasn't like in your face all the time. It was kind of subtly splashed in at certain moments, and when it was in, oh my god, it was satisfying. You got to see close-ups, you know, and just brilliant. If you, it's the 20th of November right now. This movie has been out absolutely ages, relatively speaking. And I was gonna go and see it on the unlimited preview night, and god damn, I wish I did. I'm Cineworld, so I've got the pass. I can go as often as I want, and they do a screening, an early screening for card holders, and god, I wish I'd gone. I really do, because I so want to see it again at the cinema, but it's basically in 2 days time it finishes, and I don't think I'm going to get a chance to come to the cinema again. But please go to the cinema right now, find your local, find any screening that's showing this movie. Don't sit too far to the back. I was kind of like more or less the front row before you get to those crazy front rows where you're looking up at the screen like that. And I wouldn't have minded maybe even being a little bit closer. You need loud surround sound. There's brilliant war parts of the movies, you know, the opening sequence, for instance. You're up in an aeroplane, and if you've seen the Dunkirk movies, then you'll know how important the audio effect was of the, you know, the planes and the explosions and everything like that. So there's a chance, if you're only just watching this now and you haven't seen the movie, there's a chance you might not get to see it at the cinema. But please, if you can, go and see it at the cinema. It's so good. And this movie is made for the cinema. But if you have to watch it at home, please do it when you can have the volume turned up as loud as possible. Try and get surround sound. If you've got a sound bar, make sure it's at a time of the day when you can have it loud and you don't have to worry about, you know, waking people up or anything. You need it to be loud. Turn off the lights, make it immersive, you know, focus 100%, get the best setting you can for this, and just set yourself up for a delight of a movie. I mean, if you've seen the trailer, if you're like me, you'll have seen the trailer. I mean, for start offs, the soundtrack, it's probably the best trailer for a movie I've ever seen. Partly, I'll agree, because of the Hell's Bells, you know, AC/DC soundtrack. How awesome is that song, period? And then put that in a war movie, and it is an amazing trailer. So if, like me, you watched the trailer, saw it in the cinema, your jaw probably dropped and you probably thought straight away, holy crap, this film is for me. This is the film I've been waiting for. It's probably my favourite film of the year. It's oh man, it's so good, so enjoyable. And it didn't disappoint, basically. What you see in the trailer, it's better. It's even better. It's so much better. So you start the movie off and it's, you know, just your typical war movie. And that's great as it is. You know, I'm interested in war movies, especially World War I and World War II. You know, and that's how it starts off. And you get to know the characters. Kind of one of the main character guys. Really, he kind of the corporal type, you know, sergeant type level. Really, really good. I liked him a lot. Loved his part. And the movie very much is following the characters of you know, the US Army characters. You know, it's following them, and you get to know the characters, and it's such a good story. I mean, you'd expect it just to be a sellout and just to be like gore, blood, guts, zombies, whatever. But it actually had a really good storyline where, you know, each scene was really enjoyable. You weren't like wishing it away thinking, oh, come on, hurry up, just get to the gory bits. Like if you watch a horror movie, if you're anything like me, sometimes, you know, the opening sequences, you're just like, come on, I don't care, let's just get to the bit where it gets scary. And in this, I was kind of expecting to just be wanting it to get to the bit in the movie where it is it's blood, guts and gore. You know, I was expecting to just want it to get to that, but it was weird. It was like the movie was brilliant even when it didn't have the zombie element in. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it so much as a war story. So as a war story, you get the, you know, the taste of the war crimes that would have gone on. And, you know, they paint the Nazis in a very bad light, and you wish that these Nazis, you know, get some comeuppance, and it's satisfying in the sense that some comeuppance is served. And I guess if I'm brutally honest, some of the things that I would have wanted to do got done, and that was what I loved about it. It was like, oh shit, yeah, I would have done that. Yes, and he did it. Oh, brilliant. Yes. Oh, good. I'm so glad that happened. You know, he deserved that. You kind of think to yourself, and it is just so satisfying, but so brutal, and I love that. I mean, it's an 18 certificate, and yeah, it absolutely makes the most of its 18 certificate. I mean, it's not the kind of stuff that's going to give you nightmares or anything like that. I mean, if you've seen the Saw movies, you're going to be pretty desensitized to this kind of stuff by now. You know, it's not really that big a deal, but it's still satisfying to see on screen, especially when it's done with really good special effects. Oh man, you know, you get to see people's faces that are fucked up, you know what I mean, deformed. So it's really, really satisfying in that regard. Yeah. Oh man, I loved it. I absolutely loved that movie. And I'm thinking this Abrahams guy, J.J. Abrahams, I'm thinking, you know, what else do I know him from? I'm sure I know the name. And he was involved with Armageddon, you know, like, was it 1999 or something when Armageddon was out? I mean, that's probably, in all honesty, a top 10 movie of all time for me. Love that movie. He's also did some of the Cloverfield Lanes, not that huge a fan of those, but I've seen them all, they're okay. He's done Star Wars The Awakening. He's going to be involved with Star Wars Episode 9 coming out December next year, so Jesus, I am looking forward to that now that I know that he's involved. And he also was involved with Mission Impossible movies, pretty much all of them I think, which I haven't really got into because I struggle with Tom Cruise, I'm afraid. So yeah, in summary, this movie, it had a hint of like the Hostel, the blood, guts and gore of Saw, but it also had a really enjoyable war story. You know, they had a mission, you got really involved with the mission, and then the zombie, whatever you want to call it, element starts to unfold. So if you like your zombie movies, you know, it's not zombies. You'll know from the trailer that it's not zombies, but you know what I'm saying. Like clearly Hitler is doing some experimenting. It reminds me of one of the Marvel movies. Was it Captain America or something, where he was doing something similar? But yeah, entirely hugely satisfying. And as the moments when you get introduced to the zombie, I'm calling them zombies, but you know what I mean, the moments where they get introduced on the screen, it's just really well played. Like I say, there's normally bits where you think, oh god, that was cheesy, or oh man, they've gone down that route, or oh, why did he have to do that, or oh, you've kind of spoilt the movie now by doing that. But honestly, there's not a thing about the movie that wasn't just brilliant and 100% satisfying. Everything you want and things you wouldn't have even dared to hope for were in there for me. Absolutely loved it. I think the critics generally gave this a reasonably good review. It looks like it got about a 7 out of 10 on some of these sites, which are normally quite critical. So, you know, it's done well in terms of the reviews. But for me, I just want to let you know, if you saw the trailer and you thought to yourself, this movie is my cup of tea, then Jesus, you will not be disappointed. It is totally as satisfying as what you would hope for. Brilliant movie. I wish I'd seen it sooner at the cinema. Jesus, I wish I'd seen it in the 4DX, you know, the moving seats. It would have been so worth it. You know, 15 quid, whatever it cost you to go and see this movie in a 4DX. Totally worth it. I'm not sure 3D is necessary. I don't know if it was ever in 3D. Certainly wouldn't necessarily be bothered about 3D. I'm not a huge fan of 3D movies. But, you know, please get to the cinema. Watch this at the cinema where it's at its best. I'm probably going to pay to go and see it if any non-Cineworld cinemas are still showing it in a couple of weeks' time, because I wouldn't want to go and watch it again straight away. I would like to have given it, 3 weeks maybe in between watching to get the most out of it again, because I'm really good at kind of like forgetting what happens in movies, and then when I watch them again, it's like I haven't seen the movie before. I'm like watching it from the start again, and I love that. But I really want to see this again at the cinema. When I watch it again at home, I'm going to make sure I watch it, with absolute surround sound, volume to the max. So yeah, please go to the cinema. You need to see this film. It is absolutely awesome. And let me know what you think. Did you enjoy it as much as me? Am I just crazy for liking it this much? But for me, I had a smile on my face. A lot of the time when the gore revenge type stuff was happening, I was just with a huge smile on my face. It was just so unbelievably satisfying. You know, the director and he just gave you everything you wanted to happen. You know, it was incredibly gory and a really well wrote film. You know, the storyline was great, the way it all panned out. You know, for a movie of this genre to not feel cheesy, I don't know how that's possible. Normally I would totally expect stuff like this to be cheesy, but you enjoy it anyway because of the gore and because zombies or whatever it is, you know, that you're getting a kick out of. But you would appreciate, yeah, it's cheesy, but never mind. But this wasn't. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was cheesy at any point. It was just it kind of had it kind of almost had like the war story credibility of Platoon, and the zombie element. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I've seen a zombie type movie that's been that well made. Maybe it makes me think of like Wolverine. You know, how it was just that the zombie element wasn't just ludicrous. It was kind of brilliant, and you get more of a flavour as to what the zombie element is all about as the movie progresses. You know, you get a little taste that something's not right early on, and then as the movie progresses, you get a little bit more. Then you get to see, and it just unravels itself more and more as the movie goes on. But it doesn't leave you wanting more. It kind of delivers on everything that you would have probably hoped for. It was just incredibly well put together and incredibly satisfying as far as I'm concerned. Let me know if you think I'm being too generous there, but I thought this is one of the best movies I've possibly ever seen. I would have loved to have gone to see it with one of my mates so I could find out if I'm crazy right now for bigging this movie up so much. But I've got a feeling, you know, my mates would have absolutely loved this movie as well, you know, right up our street. So I'm going to leave it there. Keep the review under 20 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed my take on things, and if you haven't seen the movie, I hope I've given you the motivation to go urgently, cancel your plans, go to the cinema, get this movie watched, because it needs to be seen at the cinema. It's just so good. So yeah, let me know what you think once you've seen it. Brilliant movie. Am I crazy for putting it in my all-time top 10 as well? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next review.